Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to do like an everyday makeup look, kind of, that I would do on any basic day that I'm not doing anything super fancy. I was going to do like a foundation routine or a makeup routine, but essentially, since I do work at Sephora, if some of you do know, it's obviously my job to try out different things, how they work. I buy a lot of stuff, so I use different things essentially most days. Like, I do have my basics, my favorites that I use every single day. I like to switch things up as the days go by. I just use a lot of like the same basic look that I do, obviously. So I'm going to show you guys how I do my makeup on a regular day. Like I said, obviously I work at Sephora, so I have to do different makeup looks. But since I was in school, some of you may have known that, I was in school 4 days a week. So this is what I would do on those basic days, or if I'm like running errands or anything like that, I'm not trying to do anything crazy. This is essentially what I would do. So I'm just going to get started. So I did just wash my face. There's nothing on it right now. So I'm just going to start off with my moisturizer and how I prep my face for my makeup. Alright, so first I'm going to start off with my Clarins Multi-Activ Jour. This is one that I've been using for quite a while. I got it from Marc. It actually is really nice. And because I do live in a drier climate, a drier place, it's kind of nice to have a thicker moisturizer to put on. I just put that on, and then I'm going to go in real quick with an eye cream. If I can find it, it's right here. This is the eye cream I use. It's the Ultimate Lift Eye Cream by Henrickson. This one's alright. It's more of a gel consistency, I find. My under eyes are super dry 99% of the time, so I like to use something that's pretty moisturizing on my under eyes. And that's far too much, but that's fine. Alright, next up I'm going to go in with my primer. Like I said, obviously I do switch things up a lot, but this primer is pretty much standard in my makeup routine. This is just the Becca Backlight priming filter, so I'm just going to put that one on all over my face. Next, I'm going to go in with my foundation. Essentially, I do switch out my foundations, but not quite as often as other things. I like to use my Estee Lauder Double Wear. I've mentioned this in favorites videos, empties videos, etc., etc. So I do use a lot of that one. This one is in the shade Ivory Nude, which is my usual shade right now. I did recently get a spray tan over the weekend, so I am a little bit darker than I usually am. So I just have a sample of the Rattan, which is quite a few shades darker. This one I find matches me better than the lighter one, but I'm just going to mix them a little bit to get the perfect shade. Oh, that's far too much. As far as foundation goes, I like to dab it on my face first. Like, do it in little areas, and then I'll go in and blend it. Next I'm going to go in with my Sephora. This is number 56, the Pro Airbrush brush. This is the special edition, the Mara Hoffman one. And I'm just going to blend that in. Sorry if you guys can hear like some traffic and shit in the background. It is just super hot in my apartment right now. And I want to get some air in here, so my window's cracked open like the tiniest bit, but you can probably hear. Alright, so there's that. Next, I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to use this. Usually I don't use this one, but since I am tanned right now, I do use this one. This one's a really nice concealer, but this is the lightest color, and it does not match me at all when I'm my normal shade. But I'm just going to do my under eyes with that one. I also find this one oxidizes on me quite a bit, so that'd be another reason why I don't use it. And then I'm just going to blend that in with my beauty blender. Alright, Now I'm going to go in into my under eyes. I'm going to use the Shaded Light palette by Kat Von D and just a dome shape brush. And I'm going to use the two lightest shades. And just set my under eyes. And then T-zone a little bit. Next thing I'm going in with is my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is basically my everyday powder. Sometimes I like to switch it up and use different ones, but this one is the one that I use 99% of the time just because I really like the look it gives me. This one doesn't add any extra color or anything like that, which is nice. Is that all right with that one? A lot of people like to do their eyes first. I do face first and then my eyes last. I don't know, just the way I've always done it. So I'm going to go in with my dark chocolate Soleil bronzer. I don't use this one often. I'll usually use the milk chocolate or just regular chocolate, but since I am tanned right now, I'm going to be using the dark chocolate just because this one I find is like the perfect contour shade. I'm just going to go in with this one and this. Does anybody else find, I don't know who uses this powder, but like these powders I find even like if my mouth's open and like I get like some in my mouth, I can like taste it because it's like sweet. Does anybody else have that problem? I tried telling that to people at work and I thought I was on crack, but seriously, I feel like I can like taste it a little bit. I'm just going to go in, just because it is kind of darker on my temples, I'm just going to go in with number 187 by MAC. This is just a dual fiber brush. I find that this will warm everything up and blend out the edges quite well. This is like a staple in my collection. I don't think I would ever be able to live without this brush. I'm going to go in with my blush. I'm using the Jaclyn Hill, the Becca palette. If anyone didn't get this, I'm sorry. It's a very nice palette. But this one, it's like perfect. I still have the thing in here, but it's like perfect for traveling. I'm obsessed with it. So I'm just going to go in with this one and this one. I don't know what they're called. Amaretto and Rose Quartz. Rose Spritz, sorry. Alright. And then I'm going to go in with the Prosecco Pop. Prosecco Pop is one that I can't use unless I'm significantly tanned, or else it like leaves like streaks on my face, which is really unfortunate, but since I'm tan, it works for me. So I'm just going to use this brush. I think it's an under eye setting brush by Real Techniques, but it's it's a setting brush. But I like this one for highlight when I kind of want to pack it on a little bit more. Next thing I'm going to do is my eyebrows. I'm using the Anastasia, the Brow Wiz. This one is the Brow Wiz in Taupe. This is one that I've been using for like 100 years. Super quick, and I honestly like my eyebrows, so I feel like I don't really need to use anything super hardcore. So yeah. That's pretty much it for brows. Then I go in with my eyes. Alright, my camera died, so we're going to try this again. Next, I'm going to go in and do my eyes. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. And this one here is probably my favorite primer. It works really well, actually. So I'm just going to go in and use a tiny bit of that. And then I'm going to be going in and using the Marc Jacobs. This is the holiday palette, the About Last Night. I highly, highly, highly recommend this palette. If you have a spare $100 laying around, I suggest that you get it. The pigmentation on this is absolutely phenomenal, and you literally need like the smallest amount. Like literally, I'll just like tap my finger in it, and there's like, it's like amazing. I'm obsessed. Anyways, so I'm going to be using that palette. Like I said, I do switch it up quite frequently, but this one I find, since I've gotten it, is a real staple in my collection. So I'm just going to be taking this brush. I don't even know what brush this is. I'm pretty sure this is a painting brush that I've had for like ever, but I just use this to set my primer. So I'm just going to go in with this shade here, which is just Taupe. It's just a neutral shade, and I'm just going to set my primer. Alright. Next I'm going to be using this brush, which is the BH Cosmetics. It's 101. I got this in a set, but I'm obsessed with this brush. It's really nice and fluffy. And I'm just going to be taking this kind of taupey shade down here in the middle. And that's going to be my transition color. You really don't need much on your brush for this palette because it is just so freaking pigmented. It's ridiculous. Next, I'm going to be going in. This is a brush from Shoppers. It's a Quo brush. This is the crease shadow brush. It's just similar to the other one, just a little bit more of a dome shape on the top, a little bit more compact. And that one I'm just going to use just to pack some color in my crease. I'm just going to be taking the color right above the taupey shade there, and it's kind of more of a shimmery color. And that one I'm just going to put right in my crease. And with this color here, I'll usually drag it in a little bit into the outer third of my eye. Alright, so then I'm going to go back in with my BH Cosmetics Fluffy brush and just blend out the edges a little bit. And then I'm just going to go in with this brush here. Literally all my brushes look the same, but this one is another staple. This is a crown brush. It's the C330, the Pro Blending Crease. This one, very similar to the last brush. This one is just a lot more denser and a lot more pointy. I just like to use this one for the outer V, just because since it is very pointy and dense, it just kind of packs color in the crease. So I'm just going to be using this dark brown shade down here on the bottom, and you just need the tiniest little bit of this. I just will like literally like poke my brush in there, and then I'm just going to kind of define the outer V a tiny bit. Then I'm going to go back in with my crease brush and take a little bit more of the crease color that I used, so just this little shimmery shade up here, and I'm just going to blend that color out. And then I'm going to take this shade here, or this brush here, sorry. This brush is also from the BH Cosmetics set that I got. It's the 103, so it's just a flat brush. So I'm going to highlight with this first, and then I also use this one to pack on a lid shade, because typically I'll use a lighter shade on my lid anyway. So I'm just going to take this shade up at the top corner here. It's more of a shimmery shade. I'm just going to highlight my brow bone with that. And also my inner corner. I'm going to go back in with that same brush, and I'm going to just take this pink shade here, and I'm just going to pack that one on my lid. Right, and then go back in and just blend that out so it doesn't interfere with my crease color. Right, and then last, I'm going to take this. It's also from the BH set. I swear this set, I paid like 20 bucks, I think, for it. And it came with quite a few brushes. Like pretty much all the brushes you'd ever need. And they're really soft and they're really, I don't know, I like them. It's just a little tiny pencil brush. I'm going to use this for under my eyes. So I'm just going to take this shade that I used in my crease. Oh, this is the shade I used in my crease right here. And I'm just going to put that under my eyes. And I don't bring it in too far. And then, last but not least, I am going to go in with mascara. I recently got my eyelash extensions done. I really have mixed reviews on them because obviously they look beautiful when you're not wearing makeup, but for somebody like me who wears a significant amount of makeup every day, they are very hard to work with, I find. And obviously, like, my eyelashes are like translucent when they don't have mascara on them, so they still, like, I have like maybe like 15 little eyelashes in here, and then everywhere in between it is like invisible, so it looks like I have like maybe like 5 eyelashes. You can't use like oil-based makeup remover for your eyes, which is what takes off a lot of like mascaras and eyeliners, which is kind of shitty. So whatever, it's fine. I'm just going to go in with a mascara, and I'm just going to do a slight, like a very light coat over top. This one is the Givenchy, I don't even know what this is called, Noir Couture. The brush just looks like this. It's really cool. And I love this mascara. It doesn't usually come in this packaging. I think we still carry it in this packaging, but this is like special edition packaging. But I love this mascara. It works really well. So I'm just going to do a light coat on the top, light coat on the bottom. Alright, and last but not least, I'm just going to put something on my lips. Typically, I'm really big into lipsticks and liquid lipsticks, but since it's super dry where I am from, my lips are like super chapped, and like if I wear like anything drying on my lips, like throughout the day, they will split and bleed, and it's just horrible. So I've been using a lot of lip glosses lately. And then I'm going to use today is the Revlon, I don't even know what this is called. What is it? Revlon ColorBurst in number 44. So it's just a nice basic mauve color, and I'm just going to put that on my lips. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed my everyday makeup look. This is essentially what I look like most of the time. Like I said, products are subject to change, and sometimes colors are subject to change, but this is basically what I look like most of the time. If you guys have any questions or comments about anything, leave them in the description bar, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!